This is the Chapter 6 Packet Tracer 6.1.1.5, and we're going to be configuring static and default routes. So the background is this topology represents a small WAN. Each device in the network has been configured with IP addresses. However, no routing has been configured. The company management wants to use the static routes to connect to multiple networks. So the first thing we need to do is find out where we need to set up the static and default routes. So let's take a look. I'm just gonna take a look at the routing tables and see that this one, both interfaces are up, configured at 10.10.10.2 with the /30 notation. The fast Ethernet 0/0 has got a 192.168.1.1, and the serial interface 3 is 10.10.10.1, and the serial 2 interface is 10.10.10.5, and fast Ethernet is 192.168.2.1. Okay, and then I'm going to take a look over here. The fast Ethernet is 192.168.3.1, and the serial interface is 10.10.10.6. So, first thing we want to do is configure the default route on the branch office, and then we want to do the partner net routers, or router. Okay, so we're going to first of all need a console cable to get into the branch router. And we want to go into our terminal software. Enable it, and then enter our global configuration mode. Okay, and we want to give it a default route, and the command to do that is IP route, and then we're going to go 0.0.0.0 space 0.0.0.0 space, and then we want to go to the next hop. So the next hop on the address was, let's just go look, was right here. So let me get my little inspection tool. And the next hop is this serial 3/0 interface. And we can look there, and you can see the IP address is 10.10.10.1. So that is the next hop for this router, for this branch office router. So what we're going to do is finish configuring our default route. So the next thing we're going to enter is 10.10.10.1, which indicates the next hop. Okay, and we want to save our configuration by doing a copy, run, start. Okay, now let's go over to the partner net route and see if we can configure the default route there. So let's get out of there. Let's get another console cable hooked up over to the partner net router. Okay, so we'll just look at this before we do it. So what we want to do is we want to go from this router, which is serial interface 2/0, over to this router, which is serial interface 2/0. So we need to note the IP address on our next hop, which is the serial interface 2/0, which is 10.10.10.5. So that will be our next hop. So we're going to go ahead and get into this PC's terminal software. We're going to get into our global configuration mode, and we want to give it a default route of 0.0.0.0 space 0.0.0.0 space, and if you remember, our next hop was 10.10.10.5. Okay, and we're going to save this configuration by using our copy run start command, and we'll exit out of that to secure the terminal. Okay, next we're going to configure static routes at the main office router. So the configuration of the static routes at the main office is a bit more complex because the main office router is responsible for routing traffic to and from the branch office router as well as the partner net. The main office router knows only about the routes 10.10.10.0, 10.10.10.4, and 192.168.2.0 because they are directly connected. Static routes to 192.168.1.0 and 192.168.3.0 would be added to the main office router so that it can route the traffic between the networks behind the branch office and partner net routers. So we're talking about the networks that are behind the routers here and here. So in order to do that, we're going to go into this router, and we want to first enable and get to the global configuration mode. Okay, once inside there, we can set up our static routes. So the command for that is IP route network and we'll enter the network address there. So 192.168.1.0, and we want to do a space, and we need the subnet mask, which is 255.255.255.0, and then the next hop IP address, which is going to be this hop right here, is going to be 10.10.10.2. You can go ahead and enter that, 10.10.10.2. Okay, that's one side. And now we're going to go ahead and do the other side with the IP route. We want to do the network address 192.168.3.0 with the subnet mask 255.255.255.0, and then the address of our next hop, which was 10.10.10.6. Now we want to save our configuration with our copy run start command. And we can go ahead and exit out of that. Okay, now we're going to check for connectivity from the branch office PC, and we're going to try to ping this PC over here, PNPC. So we're going to go to our command prompt, and we're going to ping 192.168.3.2, see what happens. And we are getting replies from that computer, so we have successfully configured the static and default routes for the main office router, the partner net router, and the branch office router. check our results, and that concludes this packet tracer.